He knows what you're trying to do. All he's doing is focusing and squeezing. When you're coming up, once we give you some getting up to your feet things, I guarantee he will not be on you as tight. It'll actually be, if you do it the right way. That's a big if you do it the right way. If you keep that, that position, foot out front, hip out, the whole thing, it will be easier to get away when you're coming up. Like a lot of moves are harder in reality. This is actually easier in reality than the drill that we just did. Okay, so how do we get up there? Well, there are a number of ways to do it. There's a number of ways. So the first way is probably our primary get to our feet thing. I'm not sure if we actually get this the most. This is probably what our guys are. It's going to be our first. It's going to be plan A. All right, plan A. We get a lot. So I do a lot of times. I kind of think about it in reverse, wrestling in reverse. I think about like, what's my biggest challenge? So whatever I'm going to do is going to be based on what my biggest challenge is. So my biggest challenge, I'm on the bottom, guys on top. What do the majority of guys do on the top? First move. What are they? Chop, arm chop. I'd say high school, and maybe even in college, you just watch them wrestle. It's something comes normal, it's taught, it's whatever. I would say 80% or so, it's going to be a chop and drive. All right. So I think about this thing. What part of my body is going to have to be a focus for me if I'm going to get out, if he's doing a chop and drive? So he's lined up on the traditional side over here, my left side. What do I kind of have to protect if I'm going to not end up like this? What do I have to protect? Maybe my hips, but he's going to probably have to do something else to control my hips. What do you think? No idea. What's that? Your arms. Okay, very good. So come on in. So let's say you're on bottom position and you have a terrible bottom position stance, which is high, arms straight down. So if I'm lining up on this guy, I'm going, oh yeah, all right? It's going to be so easy, ready to go, boom, to do that, right? That's what you're in. Go out, watch wrestling, see it, you'll see it. If you watch, see it 100 times, okay? That guy. So we're going to think about this guy here a little bit as probably, I think one of the strongest forms of a structure is like a pyramid, okay? They're narrow at top, they get wide on four sides. It's just a wide, strong position. So that's why, wide, kind of low here. That's a strong position. I have to do, everything I do is probably going to be designed to protect this near arm. Because if I don't, this is what's going to happen. Ready? I can do incredible damage to you by controlling that inside arm. And if I don't have a strategy to protect it, that guy's kind of, a lot of his focus is on that. I'm thinking about all these other stuff. The reality is, I have to do something to protect that arm. That is incredibly high priority for me because it keeps me out of trouble. Okay? Remember that? This is trouble. So, I have to have a strategy. I have several. This is not a good one. Doing like an explosive stand-up. That probably works in his favor if I do explosive stand-up. Some guys are just incredibly gifted. I have had one guy in the last 10 years that can just do one of those, like you can't even see him. He was real, real short and real, real strong. He could just get up to his feet so fast the guys couldn't stop him. That's one out of my whatever years. All right. So the rest of my guys have to have a strategy. So here's our first strategy. This guy, we think ahead. We know he's going to chop an arm.